I wondered where he got that. When he goes on stage, you can tell he's got some broadcasting.
Oh
He's
yeah,
got some background in that.
one of the best I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Live on location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Todd Allbaugh, along with Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer. It is Thursday, the 3rd of April, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite and a great day to be a University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee Panther. That is where you find us today, live on location here at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. It's a beautiful campus. We are sitting here, one of their beautiful buildings. Going to spend the entire day bringing you this special show, our ongoing series, What Makes Wisconsin Great tour. And Mr. Zommers, I'm sorry you're back home at the world headquarters at downtown Madison, because I'm telling you, Milwaukee is popping and lots going on here at the campus.
Oh, I believe it. And I know I had toured the UW Milwaukee campus
Really?
before, and it was my second choice for college. I didn't end up going there, but I also, because of the pandemic, didn't end up finishing a degree. So
Right.
maybe I'll go back. Very
Always,
possible.
I see.
I
Well,
do-
I talk
I did
about that,
really love the
returning
campus.
students a little bit. Yeah, how about that? Well, appreciate all your work back at the home station in Madison there. But again, for those watching on the stream on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, you can see the beautiful venue here, the beautiful sites behind us in the heart of the UW Milwaukee campus here. And we are joined at the desk to start off the show. Lots of people we're going to get to today. Going to be focusing on the profession of the health professions and sciences building, a big new project here, talking about the state budget. We're going to have the dean of that university, or of that college here, going to talk to a nursing student as well. And in hour number two, not to downgrade my first guest, but in hour number two, it is Old Home Week here on the show. My friend from high school, Carrie Anderson Pink, who knows all my secrets, and she will not tell them today on the show. But she works here at the marketing and communication part of this university. And yes, you've heard me talk about him several times on this program, my old broadcasting partner, Kevin O'Connor. The old 91 FM sports team from WSUP in Platteville is going to be reunited in hour two. Kevin is going to be along, talk a little broadcasting, but also what he does here at the University of Milwaukee as well. And then we're going to hear from, yes, Pounce the Panther, the mascot. We cannot show you his face, but you will hear his voice. What is it like to be Pounce the Panther here at Milwaukee? And then we'll round out the show with some of the great students from the theater and music program here at this fine university. But we bring on our first guest. He is the chancellor here at UW Milwaukee, the second longest serving chancellor at this fine university. Mark Money, Chancellor, thank you very much for allowing us to do this show here.
Todd, thank you. It's a real honor to be here, and I'm just so thrilled with the lineup of guests that you've got today. You're getting the worst first, get me out of the way, and then we bring on the stars. So as you've mentioned, we've got some great talent that's coming, and thank you so much for helping showcase what really does make Wisconsin great.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and a big shout out, in all sincerity, to Carrie, because she put this lineup together for us today and helped us do it, and could not have done it without her. Let's talk a little bit about your journey. First of all, second longest serving chancellor here at UW Milwaukee. Your term is coming to an end. You're going to have a new role, kind of getting back into the classroom a little bit, and there's a new chancellor just announced. We could talk about that later, but I want to really focus on you, because these 11 years, Aaron Zommers mentioned it at the top of the show. You've been here through the pandemic. You've been here and done, in fact, one of your brand new buildings is in our background right now, the chemistry building. What has that journey been like for you, and what changes have you seen during your tenure at UW Milwaukee as chancellor?
Well, it's been a real privilege to be chancellor. And you may not know that I was here 25 years before that as faculty member and a number of different administrative roles. So I've really seen this campus grow, really seen it change significantly. But to your question, the last 11 years have been quite an interesting ride, and that's true of all in higher education today. And I would characterize this as many wonderful accomplishments. We've become a Research One university. We've seen our standing in online programs, our College of Nursing, the development of a School of Freshwater Science, the premier and only architecture program in the state, many only at UWM, the types of things that happen with military veterans at a scale larger than any other activity for military veterans and their families in a 6-state region. So lots and lots of great things against some headwinds. And those headwinds, go back to 2015. I was interim chancellor in 2014. In January of 2015, the headlines across the top of the fold in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, the Milwaukee Bucks get $250 million. Bottom of the fold, the equally big headline, the UW system budget cut $300 million.
Right.
Ultimately, that became $250. But so welcome to the new job. I'd been appointed officially the month before, so this is what we go into. And there were a lot of challenges. The removal of tenure from state statute, that was something that a lot of faculty understandably decried, but we are now like all other states. But it didn't feel that way at the time. And of course, there was, the challenges of pandemic that affected campuses across the world, and continuing ongoing budget types of issues and demography, a lot of things like that have been happening. But against that, you talked about, the buildings that we're sitting today in the Lubar Entrepreneurship Center. What a wonderful public-private partnership. The key donors, the Lubar family, came forward and said, we'll support a program with an endowment that'll be a start. And we said we would at least double that money. We have, but they didn't want to support the building itself. They said we'll support students and programs. And so we were able to get the state, thank you, State of Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin system, to help support the building. And today this is just a hub of activities. You walk through, you see not only students, but members of the community. And, what is the future? We're creating the future, and that's what this campus does so well. We graduate on average 5,300 students per year, and that's been happening over 11 years. You have not seen that taper, despite some of the challenges, despite some of the issues. So lots of wonderful things against a backdrop of challenges in higher education. And every organization, every business, whether it's healthcare, religion, name the business, libraries, it's tough. And we just have our own particular flavor. But we go forward. We are Panthers with grit. And I love that. I recently, at the award ceremony for our alumni, was surprised with an honorary Panther degree. So I'm thrilled that I'm a Panther too.
I think that's fantastic. And took a tour. Carrie gave me a tour last night of the campus. I've been on campus before, but not in some of the buildings. Certainly not your newer buildings. It's a vibrant university. It's cool in that it's fairly compact. It's not super spread out. And talk to us a little bit about the significance of being only the second level 1 university for research other than UW-Madison. Talk about the significance of that. Your two missions of being a number or Division 1, whatever you want to call it, level 1 research university, and then also this mission of accessibility to the greater Milwaukee community.
Yeah, you're smart. This is a great question because we're the only campus like that in the state of Wisconsin in terms of a public or private institution that has that top-tier research aspiration. It's written into our charter as a select mission of our school to be a research university, but also one that serves populations that historically had not had as much access to college. So whatever definition, whether it's military veterans that didn't have that transfer in, women, students of color, individuals with underprivileged backgrounds, name the different student population. A lot of non-traditional students. That's really important to UW-Milwaukee. On the physical side, just to reflect back on something you said, we're very fortunate. A lot of urban campuses do not have the wonderful access to the lake, wonderful neighborhoods that surround us, but we're an important part of the city because of our mission. And let me give you an example that comes to mind that may crystallize it for our viewers and listeners. I was Associate Dean for Executive Education many years ago in the Lubar College of Business, and we worked with a company, Johnson Controls, which said to us, we're really valuing a lot of the things that you do. And they had a partnership with us around research. And that partnership, it was on warranty and reliability analysis. After 3 years, it wound down. And I went for the renewal. And they said, well, this is back in the 90s. They said, we see you as a provider of talent. We can do research with a lot of other universities. Fast forward to early in my chancellor years when I was presenting both to Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation Board and the Joint Finance Committee on the importance of a research university. I had people from Johnson Controls. I had people from Badger Meter. I had people from A.O. Smith, leading Fortune 100, 500 companies that came and talked about why you need to invest in the research university, why corporate headquarters want to stay here. If we want to stay on that leading edge, and I don't care if you're talking about healthcare, manufacturing, in terms of data science or other areas, if we want to remain competitive in the state of Wisconsin, we have to be developing new products, transforming smart applications in every possible way. And if you look at strong economies, typically research universities are at the core of that. So whether you're talking about Silicon Valley, Austin, Texas, go to Miami today and you've got universities that are creating a major tech sector. We know that about Boston, we know that, and it's not just true in the United States. So research universities play an important part. But then when we think about Milwaukee and the state, we have students from 72 counties, the entire state of Wisconsin that are here. Then we have students from other countries and other states. But most of our students stay here and they contribute in meaningful ways. North of 80% of our students are staying here at least 10 years after graduation.
Wow.
So we're the primary workforce provider at scale. And it's also, as you walk across the campus, you'll see a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of students with lives that are enriched and great career opportunities, social mobility for them, but especially for employers, a great talent pipeline.
About 2 minutes left here before our first break. We're talking with Mark Money, the Chancellor of the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, here on campus. My grandmother, listeners of this program know she was the first woman dean in the state of Wisconsin at UW-Richland, which is sadly now closed. But her passion was the Wisconsin idea that the borders of our university are the borders of our state. And she fought valiantly because she said, I don't care. She grew up my great-grandfather was a farmer with, on a farm. She goes, I don't care whether you live on a farm or not. The way to success is education. And it seems that same attitude is alive and vibrant at UW-Milwaukee, because just like rural Wisconsin has challenges, urban areas like Milwaukee, our largest city, also have challenges. And it would seem the more people have skills and resources, education, that is a way up to independence.
We find when we work with different community partners that there's a threshold, Todd, and it's this 40,000 family income threshold that if you don't have a 2 or 4 year degree, if you don't have the path to education, your family can't get beyond that $40,000 threshold. And that is really a difficult situation for a lot of individuals. So that's absolutely a huge driver for us, and it really aligns well with why it's so important to have a public, affordable education here in Milwaukee. And I do know that it's not affordable for everyone. And I know the challenges. And back long ago, when I was an undergraduate, it didn't seem very affordable. It's certainly not cheaper today. But we have a lot of scholarships that we've raised. We've got a lot of pathways. And that is entirely consistent. And back to your point about the Wisconsin idea, I really value your grandmother's work and thank her for that.
Well, thank you very much. We're talking with Chancellor Money. Come on back and to talk a little bit about the College of Health Professions and Sciences with the dean of that college and a nursing student as well. Don't go anywhere. We're live in Milwaukee, EWM, on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Are we off right now?
Now we're off.
Okay.
we're still streaming live, so but we're off the radio air. Yeah.
Yeah, you're really good, Todd.
Well, you're really good. You're a pro. You're a pro's pro. Actually, Dean, we'll have you over there, please. I think next to the Chancellor, and
Can you turn the
I'll wait
Chancellor
for you
up
to
just a
come back
little
to. Pardon, I'm sorry. What, Aaron?
Can you turn him up just a little bit?
Yep, absolutely. Turn the Chancellor up. All right. And for the shot, you guys got to get close. Hopefully, you don't mind that. Get as close as possible. Yeah, actually, come this way if you can. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're fine, Chancellor. Yep, the dean. Yeah, perfect. Look at that. See, we're all in the shot. So
Oh,
that
good.
looks great. Fantastic.
Eligible Americans from voting. It mandates proof of
And did you get your water? Yeah, your water state. All right.
Thank you.
Very. Yep.
but limits that proof to a birth certificate.
Carrie wants a
US
picture?
passport,
Oh,
or
sorry.
naturalization papers. 9% of Americans don't have those documents readily available. And
Well,
Carrie
make
knows
sure
she doesn't
that-
have to be nice to me.
working Americans, seniors, and the disabled
We'll have to make sure you get sent some of those pictures, Todd.
with a birth
Yeah,
certificate,
absolutely.
69 million
Oh, she's
married
looking at
women
your hair.
change their name upon marriage, and 146 million Americans don't own a valid passport.
See, I used to work for.
The group
Well, the main
Declaration for
politician I worked for was
American
Dale
Democracy
Schultz when he was
submitted a
state
letter
senator.
citing
He
its
was
impact
great.
on
He was a great guy. But see, I used to do this for Dale. I'd say, your tie looks terrible.
Yeah.
So it's all about having people that can make us look good.
Yeah, he represented Southwest
Yeah.
Wisconsin, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
Yep, was the only Republican senator to vote no on Act 10.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, we got about 30 seconds until we're back.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Hear that? Okay.
I can.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Volume up or down?
Down a little.
Down a little. All right. Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
Works for me.
All right. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. And it's Lubar, right?
Lubar, exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're the benefactors of this.
And welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show, live on location here in beautiful Milwaukee, the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. The fight song here of the Panthers, downtown Milwaukee. Great place. Go to numerous sporting events, extracurriculars to hear that fight song. And later, in hour 2, the mascot of the Panthers, Pounce himself, is going to be here. We can't show his face, but you'll hear his voice. I'm very excited about this. Very excited to be here in Milwaukee, UWM, talking with Chancellor Mark Money here at the desk right now. Of course, you can stream us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter right now, as well as on the Civic Media app and terrestrial radio, as they say, on your radio stations all across the state of Wisconsin. And download the Civic Media app because in hour 2, it is our continuing text to win contest. Coming up next hour, somebody's going to win $100. We'll give you the secret word you text in. And then after tomorrow, somebody else is going to win the grand prize of a Verlo mattress. So very, very exciting. You'll rest up with a Verlo mattress, then come to one of the great sporting events here at UWM. Talking with Chancellor Mark Money, and now joined at the desk is the Dean of the College of Health Professions and Sciences. It is Kim Litwick. And Kim, Dean, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for the invitation.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure. Chancellor, before we get to the Dean, just talk a little bit about this college. And there is a budget request, I know, going through the budget right now that pertains to this. So often in media, it gets down to the partisanship of, people are just asking for things, and explain the importance of this investment in our universities and in this college in particular, and what it means.
Well, in a word, it's about our health. It's about livelihood of a lot of our population. And what I mean by that is that we can start with nurses, but we can talk about speech pathology, OT, or occupational therapy, PT. We can talk about 19 different healthcare majors that are in great demand, and we have the opportunity with this project, our health sciences renovation building. We call it the Northwest Quad. It used to be Columbia St. Mary's. We purchased this hospital grounds, the facilities, and we've been in the process of renovating this to enable us to have 300 more students, 3,000 in the next decade, to fill the talent pipeline where there's desperate need for all these healthcare professions. If you look at the impact in terms of ultimately being able to keep our population healthy, whether it's the pediatric side to the geriatric side and all of us in between, we all need or will need healthcare, and that's what this is about. It's really, you couldn't have a more pragmatic approach to the importance of this, and we think we're great stewards of resources here, and this is a great investment for the state, simply because we have so many healthcare partners that benefit, and ultimately the population of Wisconsin that needs more providers.
Dean Litwick, tell us a little bit about the facility you're in now and these needs. I took a little tour yesterday, and wow, from the large elevators to the geriatric handrails that I may soon have to be using in my retirement at some point. You can tell this was a former hospital, but then like a little petri dish, you have this beautiful brand new part of what could be if this budget request is approved.
Absolutely. We currently have health professions being trained in 5 different locations on this campus. And that's not how you practice when you get out into the real world. All these professions practice together. So the ultimate goal is that this new space will allow practitioners to be educated together and then ultimately join the workforce knowing how to work together. But you're right, we have a very old building. The part that we're working to renovate still looks like a hospital. It's not an educational space. There are handrails, there are toilets in offices, there are things that just don't make sense in an educational environment. But then we have the Jim and Yvonne Zemer Clinical Simulation Center, which I don't like the term petri dish. I'll take
I'm
issue with
sorry,
you
I
on that.
apologize.
We have our own little special space. It is a beautiful microcosm of modern healthcare. There are clinical laboratories in there. There are simulation spaces to simulate the experience of a birth. We can have the experience of a death. We can have an ICU, and we have an apartment. So students can learn what it is to take care of patients in essentially a real life setting, which is a whole lot less scary than going into those settings as a student the first time.
And how remarkable that is, because as we have an aging population, you don't have to tell you, I'm preaching to the choir, but do you know the numbers? I mean, how many more healthcare people do we need just in Milwaukee County or in the state of Wisconsin? I mean, I can't imagine the need right now, from hospitals to clinics to nursing homes.
Well, just with nurses, it's an estimated 20,000 shortage per year for the state of Wisconsin. We know that the population in healthcare, and in general, not just nursing, but in healthcare, is aging, and they start to age out. And over the last 5 to 10 years, we've had an increase in violence in the healthcare workforce, so nurses and other healthcare providers are leaving. So unless you start to replenish, you're going to have a shortage. And we have a shortage in every county in the state that provides healthcare.
I find this, as I took the tour, and I didn't mean in any way, shape, or form to demean the facilities you have. You've done a remarkable job maintaining them and providing a nice environment. I just saw what could be. And you get this sense really quickly that, wow, look what we're doing with what we have, but look how much more we could do, how prepared our graduates would be if we had these newer or upgraded facilities.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't take offense. I just didn't like the word petri dish there. But we, as the chancellor said, we are very good stewards with the resources that we have. We use every inch of this campus. And we have changed rooms that haven't been educational facilities into rooms that are educational facilities. But we can do so much more. And we turn away students every year because we don't have the space. Yeah. This will allow us to bring in and graduate 300 more students per year. And as the chancellor mentioned, 85% plus of our students stay in the state of Wisconsin, and they become our workforce.
The other part about this project that was impressive to me, you're not asking to break ground and build a brand new from scratch edifice here. You're taking what you already have and being frugal and thoughtful and improving literally the foundation and the skeleton, Chancellor.
Well, absolutely, and that's again back to the stewardship. And we have been able to graduate and have the largest number of healthcare students across this campus already. And I would add, in terms of U.S. News and World Report rankings, just phenomenal results. And I give our dean a lot of credit for that in terms of really having been a steward of the quality of the education that we provide. And it's very rare to hear a dean or a chancellor say, we're turning students away. Yeah. Especially why this is important is if you think about the needs that we have, whether it's 20,000 nurses or if you go to the chambers of commerce that really track what do we need, healthcare continues to be the dominant employer need. We're in a situation where in the state, critical care is having to be provided elsewhere. In other words, if you're needing care, you may not be able in your county because of the workforce shortages that we have. That's how acute things are, and it's going to get worse before it gets better if we can't really build these types of facilities out and take care of things.
Stay with us. We are live on location at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee at the Allbaugh Entrepreneurial Center here on campus. Going to talk to one of the students of the nursing program and more. Don't go anywhere. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show live from Milwaukee on the Civic Media Radio Network.
That music coming on is a good cue.
Yeah.
Thanks, Aaron.
It keeps me honest. If you want to walk around, please, we'll put you over here. So this is a little bit longer, so we have a 4-minute break here. A little news and weather update at the bottom of the hour. Okay. So you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is fun, and we love the opportunity to be able to talk about what we do and what's happening here.
This is the reason we do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You come just a little bit closer, please, with the chair. Yep. Perfect. That's great. Thank you right there. And we'll put that on you, please. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Yep.
And Veronica, Carrie's going to get a picture for you.
And Veronica, can you give us a sound check? Tell us your last or your whole name and where you're from, please.
Veronica Burns, and I'm from Janesville, Wisconsin.
All right, one more time, please.
Veronica Burns from Janesville, Wisconsin.
Aaron, how's that for level?
Maybe a touch louder, but
All right, I got it pretty much. Can you pull up the mic just a little bit closer to your mouth, please? A little bit like that. There, perfect. And as far as volume of your headset, you want it louder, softer? How does it sound?
A little bit down.
A little bit down. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Go up a little bit.
Go up. Testing 1 2 3
Perfect.
4. All right, great. Sorry, I'm half deaf, so usually the headsets are all. So people put them on. They're like, what?
It was loud.
It was.
All said
That's why I
it's
said
I'm
down.
sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's
No,
me.
it's all good.
That's me.
It's nice you have the ability to control it.
All right, Carrie. Here we go. Thank you.
Owners of Bavaria Sausage says they walked away with 49 medals.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You'll get copies, Veronica. Perfect.
All right, we'll come back and maybe I'll just chancellor another minute, and then we'll introduce you, Veronica, and tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from, why you chose Milwaukee, what your experience has been like, and
Yeah.
and then we'll just kind of so this is the longest block in the hour. It's 15 minutes, so it allows us to kind of just have an open conversation about the program, about the campus, the university. At some point I'll ask you if you were out on the road and someone came up to you and said, I'm thinking about going to Milwaukee. What would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I'd for sure say that it's the population that has brought me here. The population is what you're caring for when you go into the healthcare field, and that's why I thought about Milwaukee, and I'm like, there's so many people here, but you think of how many people need that healthcare
Yeah.
and need care for not only them but their families.
Yeah.
And then their children, all that. So I'm like, that's the breaking point for me. And then it's also the culture of the campus. You have the nursing students and the nursing association that come together, and it's just, you feel the environment and you feel the togetherness.
I want this recorded.
I know. I was going to say, well, yeah, you have to do that again in about 5 minutes.
I will.
All right.
I will. Just practicing.
No, that's great. That's
Warmed
great.
up.
Jerry, we're keeping her on standby.
you're
the next
amazing.
2 years.
No, that's amazing. I mean, and I think that's really, the most powerful thing is people hearing directly from students and life experiences of, why, especially if they're from other parts of the state.
Just knowing campus life.
Right. Yeah. It's super, super powerful. Are there things that you want to make sure, a couple of points you want to make sure that we touch on?
I think nursing is critical. It's a great foundation, but let's also keep in mind other healthcare fields. And also what I'm going to talk about, I mentioned earlier, the rigor of nursing and many of our healthcare professions. These are highly qualified, highly trained individuals that are very much in demand.
Okay.
So I'll hit on.
Yeah, and I would want to add those other health professions because this new building is going to be primarily for not nursing.
Got it.
So
Okay. Neurology, right? Or is it neurology part of it?
no,
Occupational
therapy, physical therapy,
okay. All right,
speech,
all right.
communication science disorders, nutrition, public health, kinesiology.
All right. My
Red
bad.
text.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I got a lot of things in my head. Sometimes I don't always. Maybe I need a neurologist.
That's our next project.
Oh, okay.
That's our
Okay.
next- that's our next
All right.
project,
Got it.
yeah.
Got it. Okay. And I'm sorry for the pinging. It's when people text into the show, and I don't know because I'm an idiot when it comes to engineering. Just ask Kevin O'Connor. So I don't know why pinging is in our headset. I
Just
apologize.
ignoring it.
interesting. Yeah, I don't get it over here.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of because I turned my Bluetooth off on my phone, and so I don't know if the Bluetooth is somehow on. If I can turn that off.
Hopefully we can figure that out in the future. We got 10 seconds though.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Here we go. What? Yeah, fine. Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We are live at the Allbaugh Entrepreneurship Center here on the campus, the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, home of the Panthers. An absolutely beautiful facility, a vibrant place here in the heart of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So glad to be here on location, bringing you a very special program today. Don't forget, in hour number 2, if you don't like the If you don't like me, that's fine. But, stay around for the guests and stay around for yourself. Giving away $100 in hour number 2 in our text to win contest. We'll give you the secret word after the top of the hour. And if you want all the secrets revealed of your radio host, stick around. Carrie Anderson, who I went to high school with, who is part of the campus here at University of Milwaukee, and my former broadcast partner, Kevin O'Connor, will be here in hour number 2 as well. Looking forward to that. But right now we're talking to the chancellor of this great university, University of Milwaukee here, Mark Money, also the dean of the College, if Todd could talk, of Health Professions and Sciences, Kim Litwick, and Veronica Burns now joins us at the desk, a nursing student. And Chancellor, before we go to Veronica, again, just to reset the stage for people that might not have been listening during the commercial, we're here in this beautiful entrepreneurship center. We're looking out over your brand new chemistry building. You've done some remarkable things. And I know not just you, but through your leadership and during your tenure here over the last 11 years to build resources. And now we're focusing on a very vital part of our state, healthcare, and this need right now and request in the budget for a renovation, we'll call it. Is that the proper term of the facilities to train our students in healthcare?
Well, I'm thrilled that we have a student here today. She's a great exemplar of what we do and why we're here. But the bigger, broader context is we want to put as many students into the workforce as possible because they're needed, and that's what universities do. They help provide that talent pipeline. They also transform society in a lot of very important, meaningful ways, whether that's the arts, whether that's engineering, business, architecture, water, environment, all these different areas. And we've been very fortunate to develop a lot of collaborative partners, whether it's around data science with Marquette and Northwestern Mutual, whether it's around AI and the co-innovation lab we've got with Microsoft and Rockwell, and things that we're doing in education. We want to be, and we think we've been pretty successful as a force multiplier, but it doesn't happen without recognizing and continuing to focus on the main reason why we're here, which is the education of our students. And healthcare today is growing, and it's really neat to see the different fields in which we're able to really provide, whether it's the transformative effects of research on cancer, which is personally very important to me, or whether it's in terms of registered dietitians or speech and language therapy, all the different things that we do across all the 19 majors that we've got, all of whom are doing great work in highly rigorous fields. Surprisingly, when I think about our crown jewels on this campus, many of them are in the healthcare fields.
Pleasure to be joined now at the desk here by Veronica Burns. She is a nursing student. Veronica, welcome.
Thank you for welcoming me.
Well,
it's a pleasure.
How are you today?
I am very good. I mean, have class after this.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're probably studying hard. I appreciate you taking time on your busy day to join us.
Of course.
So tell folks a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up, and how did you come to choose the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee?
So I am from Janesville, Wisconsin, which is a little small town in the south portion of Wisconsin, south central, I'd say.
Yes. Are you from Craig or
Parker?
Parker. All right.
Parker High School. That's great. You know
both.
that.
Yes, absolutely.
So what brought me to nursing is my entire family is very health surrounded. My dad is a psychologist. My aunt is social worker. Grandma is a CNA, and great grandma Veronica, who I'm named after, was also a nurse. So it just,
How cool is that?
it just kind of was innate. It was kind of.
Did your grandmother influence you into choosing nursing?
I wouldn't even say so. It's just kind of the thought of, I grew up, my dad always has patients, and I couldn't hear about any of those patients, but he'd be like, I have to go see this patient today. And I'd be like, okay. And then it's just growing up around just a caring environment that just, I knew I had to pursue a career in caring.
How did you first hear about Milwaukee, Milwaukee, and why did you choose it?
Well, at first I was looking at Whitewater, but then I knew that they didn't have a nursing program there for 4 years. And that was what I wanted. I wanted to stay at one school for 4 years. And then that's when I heard about Milwaukee, that it was the largest nursing school in the state. They accept the largest amount of people in the state. And that's what kind of brought me here. Also, the population of Milwaukee and how many people there are. You can think of how many people's families need care, how many children need care. That's what really brought me here.
Did you hear about it online? Was it through word of mouth? How did you how were you aware of it?
Just research on my own time.
You're just smart. That's the key of that.
I mean, I would look up UW Milwaukee, and the first thing that would come up is the research programs, and then I'd be like, nursing, and then it's first largest Wisconsin nursing program, and I'm like, oh, I have to.
Yeah. So I grew up in Southwest Wisconsin, a little town called Richland Center, 5,000 people. My friend Carrie, who works here as well, she's an alum. She came here, and we were talking last night as we were walking around campus. How did you? I don't really remember. How did you come here? And she said, well, her piano teacher and one of her friends from church said she had gone here and said you should really. And we're old, so there wasn't any internet back in that day,
Of course.
so you couldn't just go. And so and she came down here and visited and just kind of fell in love with it. If you were to run into someone in high school right now who's thinking about not just nursing, but looking for a university experience, what would be your pitch? What would be your what would you say to that person?
Well, I do actually have a few people that are like, hey, I'm considering going to UW Milwaukee. What would you say? Like, what would you think of me coming there? I'd be like, it's a great community. Not only is the population, the city, it brings you into a whole culture of like, I'm in a city now, coming from a small town in Janesville. It's like, wow, it's bigger than Madison. And then you also have just the culture of the clubs, the Nursing Student Association. There's so many student organizations on campus that you can join and just feel your support around you.
One of the things I like to do is to kind of break down stereotypes and barriers. So I'm just going to ask you a pointed question, if I may.
course.
There's a reputation that Milwaukee might not be safe. You're, oh my gosh, you're in downtown Milwaukee. As a woman, I never had a concern about being here at Milwaukee. And what would you say to someone who says, I don't want if I want my daughter to go to Milwaukee or not?
UW Milwaukee is one of the safest areas, I'd say, around Milwaukee. I live not too far off campus. It's about a 10-minute walk for me here. And I'd say I feel pretty safe walking home at night, walking down to the gas station to go get a snack. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. It's just the area you got to live in.
I tell people there are places in Richland Center I wouldn't go after 2 o'clock in the morning. So I think it's like that way anywhere. So
Yeah,
I think it's just good to hear from a young woman that you feel safe and this great experience. Before I go back to the administrators of this campus, I want to ask you as a student, what has your experience been as a nursing student here in the facilities, and what would you say to people in Madison who are making some of these decisions? Well, I don't know if we want to invest in Milwaukee. Why should we? Why should we invest in Milwaukee? What would you say?
Well, I'd say invest in Milwaukee because it's like we have the largest amount of nursing students here. We accept the most amount of nursing students, and it's like the expansion of our facilities would mean that we're not working in overcrowded areas. We are able to work with other people. The list can go on for me. I'm like, it's just so influential to our education and to what we'll be able to perform and for the healthcare of Wisconsin.
Yeah. First, Dean Litwick, I think she should go on a poster.
She's great.
I think she's fantastic.
She is wonderful.
But your college is certainly proud of the nursing program, but it's so much more.
It is. And you said that mouthful of our college being the College of Health Professions and Sciences, which we affectionately refer to as CHIPS. It's easier to
love
say.
that.
Isn't that cute?
That's really good.
It makes great posters.
Right?
And
Chips and
t-shirts.
salsa, right?
Well, yep, chips and salsa. I guess so. That'll be the Friday happy hour.
Oh, fantastic.
So we consist of 3 schools. We have the School of Nursing. We have the School of Rehabilitation Science and Technology, which is where we educate our physical therapists, occupational therapists, rehab technologists. We have speech and communication disorders and athletic training. And then we have the School of Biomedical Sciences and Healthcare Administration, where we're producing our healthcare administrators and our rad techs, our sonographers, and our medical lab sciences. So we have the gambit. We have the gambit, and we want them to not be educated in isolation. We want to bring them together, and that's what this new building will allow.
I love this discussion because, again, growing up on the other side of the state, I think too often, and some of us are our own fault, some of us just the media, but you don't always, you hear, Madison, and they have a great look, they have a great program there, but I did not know all of the things that you just said exist here at Milwaukee at a high level, and I think that story needs to be told. We as people we need more programs like this, and we need to tell this story across Wisconsin.
Absolutely, and I will tell it anywhere, when asked.
We've been on the Eau Claire campus, we've been in Richland Center, we've done shows in Green Bay now on campus, but this is the thing that sticks out to me. In times where our politics divide us, there are so many wonderful things in this state that we are investing in, and UW-Milwaukee and this college seems to be one we should be doing more of.
I think so.
I would add to that, Todd, this is nothing more than sheer pragmatics. When you have a campus that has 210,000 alumni, 80 to 85% of whom are from Wisconsin, that stay in Wisconsin, I'll put that up against any other education provider and say, where do you get that type of return? Where do you have a campus that's really of the people and for the communities that we serve? And these students go across the state, 72 counties. A lot of students will go back home. We obviously love for students to stay around Milwaukee, but they do often go back, whether it's Brown County, Outagamie County, back to Janesville and other areas. So that is the ultimate driver for us, and it's made a huge difference in terms of when we go into whether it's healthcare settings or any type of business, financial services, manufacturing, education. The thing that we hear a lot is that UW-Milwaukee is our primary, it's our number one talent provider.
Wow.
But we need more.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
We need more. We need more nurses. We need more speech pathologists and so forth. And by the way, when our dean, Litwack, says rad tech, I just want you to know it's not radical. It's radiologic. So I just have to
I love
clarify.
that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Again, when we do these shows, we don't do heavy partisan politics. So let me just say this. There are certain terms and words and acronyms that really set certain people off these days, DEI being one of them. So let's not use that for a minute. I want to go back to something you said, Chancellor, a word you used, access. And I can't imagine how anybody, I'm sure there are, hard for me to understand how anybody could be against equal access. And Milwaukee is our most diverse city in the state of Wisconsin. And it seems like, just like I've talked to educators, the late great State Senator Tim Cullen, Democrat of Janesville. Ever hear of Tim Cullen?
I think so, yeah.
So he has a program, for listeners that aren't aware, he set this foundation up. It's still going to go on in his death. He passed away in December, where he set up this foundation, and he has full ride scholarships to a university to go to education in Wisconsin, with the requirement you have to come back and teach in Rock County.
I did hear about the scholarship.
For up to 5. And what he has a number of minority students who have come back. And the thing that the kids say is, it's so powerful to have a teacher who looks like me and had my experience. Dean, do you find the same thing in patients, that when we educate and have more students that look and have the same life experiences of the people they're caring for, how much more powerful is that?
It makes a huge difference. And the chancellor's comment at the beginning that we are a research institution of access, what we're really trying to do is use research to guide that. And if you go into any place in the city or in the state, you will find people that look like you, and you will find people that don't look like you. And the more you are able to identify with your primary provider or your teacher in a classroom, you see yourself and you say, I could do that. And as the chancellor mentioned, if we want to break that 40,000 income barrier, we need people to realize everyone can do anything.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to be. You want to come in here in this university and you're green and 3'2", we will get you to your career.
I think that's remarkable. And again, Chancellor, as I walk around campus, I got less than a minute here to go, I think, before the next break. But it is a diverse campus. It feels like Wisconsin.
It does. We very much mirror our population, and that's what we're very proud of on this campus.
Well, you should be. It's a great place. There should be more Panthers, and we're talking about the kind that go to UW-Milwaukee, not necessarily those that prowl the jungles. But we'll come back and talk more about with our guests and more here live as we continue on at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. This is the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. All right, we're out.
Neat. Great job, Veronica.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Thank you.
That was absolutely amazing.
Have you been on radio before?
No, but me and my dad had long conversations. He's been on the radio. He goes on the radio every Saturday.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome.
I'm not sure what channel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
yeah.
But, yeah.
That's
Won't
great.
be the last.
Anything we'll come back. We'll have about 7 minutes left. Anything in particular that any of you want to make sure that I get to here with you guys?
Yeah, I think we've been hitting it well. We've talked about the need for the building, the investment. The timing is perfect, by the way, because of, we're talking tomorrow to the Joint Finance.
Oh, you're really going to hear it tomorrow
Yeah.
up in Madison or
West Dallas.
oh West
At
Dallas?
State
Okay.
Fairgrounds.
Oh yeah.
State
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be there.
All right.
And we've got Dr. John Raymond, the president of the medical college, who's
Great.
going to be. I mean, we have. If you name the chief nursing officers, the chief health officers, the chief, they really get this.
Yeah,
That's how important this is. And this building is number 2 in the state.
Okay.
In terms of the UW system budget, so in terms of priorities. So we feel reasonably good about it. The governor's behind it so far. I guess the comment that I'd like to make sure we work in, what could be more nonpartisan than health?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Great.
I think
Yeah.
That's really an important point
Yep.
that helps folks understand this is not like, oh, they want to educate more, fill in the blanks.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Yeah. We'll get there.
And
Thank you.
from the student perspective, they get the chance to practice things and learn them and become confident before they go into the workforce.
Great.
And that's what the new facility will allow.
Okay.
State of the art.
Awesome. You guys are
So that
amazing.
they're workforce ready.
Let's see.
Veronica, anything you think is important that we've missed?
I can't think of anything. I'm like, I could talk about the different things that we do in the Sim Center and how there's use of different racial, like how they have the different racial arms.
I would read that.
Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show, live on location at the Lubar Entrepreneurship Center here on the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee campus. It is a beautiful day, a great day to be a Panther here. And stay tuned. Hour number 2, we're actually going to talk, kind of, sort of, to the Panther himself and find out what it's like to be a mascot here at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. And yes, after 30 years, my former broadcast partner, Kevin O'Connor, and I are going to be reunited right here on the air. And, of course, talking to some of the theater students here and musical. My friend Carrie, who works here, we're going to talk to her a little bit as well. And Chancellor Moni, she said she went to this performance with her husband, Bill, and she called me. And that was kind of the impetus for this whole idea coming down here. And she said, Todd, I just went to this musical, and it's like as good as anything you'd see. These kids are incredible. You should be talking about them. And I said, okay, let's do it. And we're talking obviously about the more academics, or I know theater's academic as well, but I mean the vibrancy of this campus and the roundedness is tremendous.
Well, it is remarkable. There's so many different things that are happening when you talk about theater and the arts. Willem Dafoe studied here.
Really? I didn't know
Willem
that.
Dafoe, we brought him back for an honorary degree, and he did a special workshop with students, did a number of different things, and I was able to drive him around the neighborhoods. He showed me where he used to live.
Wow.
But he got his start here, and we still stay in touch. Willem Dafoe, it's pretty remarkable. Jim Rigel, 3 Academy Awards, has a special effects, the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
He did those, graduate of UWM. But I can also talk, and Dean Litwack can talk, about Maggie Wachowski, one of the first female admirals in the U.S. Navy.
Incredible.
She did her undergraduate and master's in nursing here. Satya Nadella, that little company called Microsoft out there, did his
Just that. Yeah.
yeah. So lots of great things, and I'm so glad we're able to showcase and focus on so many different parts of this incredible campus. And every day is a great day to be a Panther.
Love it. Very important, as Mike Lucas, the great columnist at University or at Madison, says, timely indeed. There's a joint finance committee hearing tomorrow on this new building project. Again, times of divisiveness and partisanship, but it's hard to understand how anybody could make healthcare partisan, because you know what? I'm getting closer to the age when it becomes more important.
It is. I think it's important at any age, honestly, having been through a few healthcare challenges myself, and most all of us have, and our families certainly will. So this is a really important part of the background, the fiber of our campus is the healthcare that we have. So to be able to provide that, and this building is going to enable us to do something that you rarely hear an administrator say, we're turning away students that employers need. What could be more pragmatic? What could be more nonpartisan?
Yeah.
It is a matter for many of life and death. It's that serious, that significant. So we're really thrilled about the possibilities, and we hope to see this all the way through. It's been a long time coming, and Todd, you've toured the facilities and you know what it's like. You cannot teach in a hospital room. That's what we've taken over a hospital, so we need to renovate. We need to turn that into classrooms. We need to turn that into places where students can learn in an interdisciplinary fashion all the different things. And wonderful to hear our student and Dean of Nursing.
Dean Litwick, talk a little bit more about this diversity in the college, but also the needs of this program and your final kind of pitch to people that might be listening that have concerns about this.
We want our graduates to be workforce ready, which means they need to be educated in facilities that mirror the workforce, and they need to learn how to work together with individuals that they will work for in the workforce. And that's what we want to do.
Incredible. Veronica, our nursing student here, at about a minute and a half here. Again, kind of your final pitch for people that might be making decisions about this project, but also those who might be considering being students in the healthcare field, not just nursing.
It's the community. It's the community of UW-Milwaukee that is very wholesome, and it brings you together with all your support systems and all the friends that you make, all the connections you make with teachers, and your preceptors. You have your simulation technicians that will help you out. And then some of your friends might be these speech pathologists, occupational therapists, and physical therapists that will be working with you in the future. So it's like you're making connections already.
I want you trained well when I come to the hospital. You need to work on me. Dean, having these facilities, practical hands-on facilities, seems to make all the difference in the world.
It does. It really boosts our students' confidence when they can try these skills out on high fidelity or low fidelity mannequins. And then when they go into the hospital, they can say, I've done this before. And they feel good about what they're doing.
Chancellor Mone, a couple of minutes left here. I can't thank you for your hospitality and allowing us to do this show. Very, very important show to bring a little slice of UW-Milwaukee across the state of Wisconsin. Your final thoughts. What do you want Wisconsinites across the state to know about your university?
We have $1.5 billion plus impact on the state of Wisconsin. We not only provide that through where our talent goes, but really the types of engagements that we have across this community. We are a university that is not defined by the perimeters, the physical perimeters. We are in the community. Our students are learning nursing. Our student teachers are in the community. So many different things that we're doing and having that impact. But we're not doing it alone. It is about collaboration. It is making things happen, but having some fun while doing it too. And I think you hear that from the students. I think you would hear that from our faculty and staff. So we're really proud of everything that we do, and we look forward to contributing in many more ways with the state's great support.
Veronica Burns, our nursing student here, thank you very much for being here. Dean of the College of Health Professions and Sciences, Kim Letwick, I appreciate you being here as well.
Thank you.
And Chancellor Mone, I just want to say on a personal note, as someone who's watched you from afar, never had the pleasure of meeting you, extraordinarily impressed, and thank you for your leadership. You're a man not only of vision, but of compassion and humanity. And you have had, you've been open about your health struggles. You've fought cancer and won. You've fought a lot of things in Madison and made UW-Milwaukee a better place. You're part of what makes Wisconsin great, and that should not go unnoticed. So thank you, sir, for what you've done.
I'm honored and humbled. Thank you. I didn't see that coming, Todd.
Wow.
That really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Really appreciate your leadership. We're better off for your leadership, and look forward to the new chancellor ahead as well. And look forward to hour number 2, give away $100. Carrie Anderson, my high school friend. Kevin O'Connor, my college friend. God, what you might know in the next second hour. And Pounce the Panther is here, and musical students. We're putting on the show. Stay with us.
Catch up later on the real background. That was really nice. That was nice.
To make the popcorn pick of the week. And then the winner of the Milwaukee Bucks Michelob Fan Challenge, John Corwin, joins the show.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 till 8. Reviewing the week's legal news with a friend of the court.
Well, I'm looking forward to Saturday morning. I haven't missed one. Outstanding, just like being in school.
It has been a week in the areas of law and government and the aspiration for justice in America. As always, I am delighted. I am honored that you have chosen to spend some of your weekend time with me in discussion.
Amicus, a law review with Jim Santel. Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us. This is 92.7 WMDX Columbus, Madison's home for real news and great conversation. A civic media station.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Countries reacting following President Trump's sweeping tariffs plan, starting with 25% tariffs on foreign autos today. And next week, a 10% baseline for all global goods. And later this month, some countries face even higher duties. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney says the tariffs violate international trade, hurts consumers, and changes the landscape for longtime trading partners.
3 different sets of U.S. tariffs remain in place and will continue to pose significant threats to Canadian workers and Canadian businesses.
Canada and other nations say they will respond with counter tariffs. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer today on the Senate floor says it will harm the U.S. economy in the long run.
Yesterday, Donald Trump made one of the dumbest decisions he has ever made as president, and that's saying something.
President Trump maintains the tariffs will bring manufacturing jobs to the U.S. This is ABC News.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. A Metro Transit operator here in Madison was assaulted on the job, according to police, and this is now at least the second attack on a bus driver in 6 weeks. So now city staff are looking into how they can stop this trend. This most recent attack happened Sunday night on East Washington Avenue on the northeast side of the city. Madison police say when they got there, they found a man who fit the description of the attacker, who then requested to go to the hospital. Madison police then referred him to the Dane County District Attorney's Office on charges of battery and disorderly conduct. Now, you may remember back in February, a woman learned the bus wasn't going where she wanted it to go, and she attacked the driver, who lost control, and the bus crashed into Asian House Restaurant. She was also later arrested. Metro Transit leaders say assaulting staff is unacceptable, and now they're going to start looking at their policies and procedures to keep it from happening again. They're putting together a review board, which will include drivers, supervisors, and union representatives. They'll go through these recent attacks on drivers and figure out how to prevent them in the future. Then they'll share their findings with drivers and add more safety training. Meanwhile, and unrelatedly, the leader of Metro Transit is stepping down. General Manager Justin Sturenberg has been in charge for the last 5 years. Mayor Satya Rhodes-Conway says he's overseen huge change like the bus rapid transit system, overhauling routes, and reducing staff shortages. In his 5 years, Rhodes-Conway says Metro Transit's yearly revenue grew from $4 million to $14 million. Sturenberg is joining a consulting firm. His last day is May 30th. The superintendent of the Parks Department will be filling in while city staff search for his permanent replacement. They expect to hire someone this fall. You can find all the local news you need and sign up for our newsletter at WMDXradio.com. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. This is 92.7 WMDX News.
The Brewers win a thriller. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers and Royals tied at 2-2. Bottom of the 11th. Milwaukee's Oliver Dunn. A base runner on third. Bryce Terang at the plate. Brian Anderson with the call on FanDuel, Wisconsin.
And Terang does square, gets a bunt down. Here comes Dunn. He scores! A squeeze bunt walk-off for Bryce Terang. And the Brewers win 3-2.
All right, we have Kevin ready to go.
It feels good. We were in that situation.
Can you hear me okay? Testing 1, 2.
Yes.
All right. Carrie, tell us your name, where you're from.
Carrie Pink from Shorewood, Wisconsin.
I thought you were going to say Richland Center.
Originally.
All right. You want to put that headset down, please? Thank you.
Major setback. Badgers women's volleyball team. 6'1" Grace Lopez suffering a season-ending torn ACL in her right knee.
And then Tanner, we have a 2-minute break here, and we'll figure out so your face isn't seen. We'll all right, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever rules we need to adhere to. All right, thanks. And you guys are on that after the bottom of the hour. All right, cool, thanks. Ugh.
I go by Carrie Pink.
What did I say?
Anderson,
Oh,
but you can say
no,
both.
No, I'll
you
say.
can say both.
No, I've known you longer.
I know.
Elon Musk's recent comments about empathy being the weakness of the West. Because we're too empathetic, we actually care about people. I mean, what's wrong with us, right?
Do you have Kevin on?
Weekday morning.
He's on the phone.
Yes. Okay.
Zommers has him on hold.
Farm Rescue makes sure that you aren't alone. They're there to extend the hand and to take the burden.
Even the most independent farmers need help sometimes, and asking for that help is protecting the future. Farm Rescue provides equipment and volunteers free of charge to assist in times of
All right,
crisis.
30 seconds.
Thank you. You'll hear this pinging, so I'm sorry, but just ignore it.
Live on location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Todd Allbaugh, along with our producer and engineer, the fantastic Mr. Zommers, back at the world headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin. We are live here on location at the University of Milwaukee campus here. It is the 3rd of April. It is a Thursday. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite and a great day to be a Panther. We are so appreciative of all the folks here at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee for allowing us to do this show. Welcome into hour number 2 of the big program, everybody. Zommers, what do you think so far? Pretty darn good, huh?
Makes me want to go back to school.
Well, I'm sure we would hate to lose you, but I'm sure they'd love to have you here. So it's a great university. Very excited for this hour. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, some of the great theater and dance students here at this fine university. We're putting on a show. It's cabaret after the bottom. No, not really, but we'll talk to them. I'm looking forward to that. Also going to talk to the mascot. That's right, Pounce the Panther will be here. Talk to him a little bit, find out what that's like. But right now, joined at the desk here by the person that helped coordinate all this. She has known me the majority of my life. I am proud to welcome Carrie Pink, Interim Executive Communication Officer of UWM. Carrie, thank you, and how the heck are you?
Thanks, Todd. It's great to be here. I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day in Milwaukee.
It is. And I mean, this really started from this trip here. Started when you went to the musical here on campus. And you said, these kids are amazing.
You bet.
And we kind of built the show around that. So
Right.
Happy to have you here. Before we go any further, and I'm very excited about this, went to school together. He put up with me on the air, was my broadcast partner for 3.5 years at the University of Wisconsin, Platteville. Now he is the licensing and product development manager here at UWM. I haven't said this in 30 years, but once again, here is Kevin O'Connor. Kevin, how are you?
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Well, after 30 years, I'm doing pretty well, Kev.
I can't believe you came all the way to my doorstep, and I'm 2 time zones away as you arrive.
Well, that's the
timing is impeccable. It pretty much speaks to a lot of things, Jeff.
As it always has been with me. You know, the theme, Carrie, back when Kevin and I, we did Pioneer Sports for 3.5 years together. Bo Ryan was the head basketball coach, won 4 national championships there before coming to UWM and then Wisconsin at Madison. But the theme when Kevin and I worked together on the air is one of these guys knows Pioneer Sports like the back of his hand. We just hope the other one can find the stadium. So that pretty much summed it up, right, Kev?
And, I mean, I think the Pioneers had a better record of winning games than you did in accomplishing that goal. That's what I would suggest.
I think you're absolutely right. So, Kevin, tell us a little bit about your responsibilities here at UW Milwaukee and what it's like being the marketing and product director.
Yeah, well, it's first of all, again, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for coming, for spreading the word about UWM, right? In all seriousness, and you and I could joke for 15 minutes and people would get very few of those jokes. But genuinely, right, it's great when people notice the great work that UWM is doing in so many different ways. And then to be able to talk a little bit more as you have with the folks that are really, truly doing that work on a regular basis makes it all the more important. Then we talk a little bit about what I'm doing, which is I'm trying to sell more T-shirts, right? Get the logo out there, make sure that our brand, our presence is in front of as many people as possible. And so that when you walk into stores or you go to events or what have you, you see people wearing Panther gear, right? And that obviously, anyone who pays attention to sports, entertainment these days, you can imagine how important that is for the brand, how important that is financially, and at UWM, which is true of many institutions around the country, where the revenue that we derive from this endeavor goes towards student scholarships. And so it becomes another way to try to help get people to the university. A little bit here, a little bit there can always make a difference. It's a lot of fun. I've worn a lot of hats at UWM over the years, but 23 years later, I'm still here. So I certainly can vouch for the great things that it's doing in the community, far beyond my little bucket of the world.
Well, and to your point, Kevin, I mean, and I'm sorry. First of all, thanks for doing this on your vacation, for goodness sake, for taking time out for our little dog and pony show. But if you were here, I'm taking Carrie and her husband Bill to the Brewers game, so we'll have to figure that out, and we'll get you there with us as well at some point when you're in town. But when you go out to AmFam Field, out in the outfield there, it's a very prominently displayed UWM Panther banner there, and it doesn't matter whether that was on ESPN. Or whether it's on, well, what the hell do they call it now? It's not Bally Sports. I mean, is it the Brett Musburger Network? I don't know what it is.
Sports update. It's the FanDuel.
Oh, that's what it is.
Right? I think I just heard that in the proper credit given for playing that audio drop of Brian Anderson's call by making sure to identify the network that it was carried on. That was very, very well done.
Nothing's changed in 30 years, Kevin. I don't go to the meetings still, so I don't know what's going on. But
I understand. The folks are doing the things they're supposed to be doing. You can check it off the list. Don't worry.
But when you watch these games at UWM, that's part of. I know you were the SID here, Sports Information Director. I mean, you came here with Bo Ryan back in the day, and as you said, stayed there, had a lot of hats. But what you do when we see these things, because Carrie and I grew up in Richland Center, and to the point, we didn't know a lot about UWM in Richland Center, but we watched Brewers baseball, and so this all goes hand in hand.
It really does, and that is a great point, Todd, because I think, listen, our presence in the city of Milwaukee and southeastern Wisconsin and the high volume of students that we get from the city of Milwaukee and southeastern Wisconsin is extremely important, right, in the overall picture of things. But when you begin to branch out further, as I know our recruiters do, up to the Fox Valley, out to Madison, further outstate in Richland Center or in Platteville, La Crosse, and Eau Claire. And then I'll go one step further, right? If we start to cross the border, be it into Minnesota or into Illinois or maybe into Iowa or across the lake into Michigan, right? The presence of the brand is at least one way to make that introduction. It is certainly a superficial introduction in many ways, but it at least opens the door like, hey, I've heard of those folks. Hey, let me look a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
And yes, I put back on my old athletics hat, right, when you extend that a little bit further to a basketball team playing in an NCAA tournament. We just celebrated the 20th anniversary of a men's basketball team at UWM going to the Sweet 16, right? You think about the value in that kind of marketing that also is tied back to the brand. And there's so many ways that the greater we at the university can help get that out before we even begin talking about all of the kinds of things that you talked about in the first hour of your show.
All right, going to talk to Kevin and Carrie in just a minute, but first, our producer, Aaron, reminds me, yes, once again, it's time for Civic Media's Text to Win contest. Hang on, guys, here we go.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all
Yes, time once again, only 2 days left. And here again, Kevin will appreciate this better than anybody else. I'm in a dead heat with my colleague Jane Matnair, who is on before us from 10 until noon, and she has never. Zomers and I have won each one of these in terms of how many people text in or whatever for this contest. And here now, I am told, and Jane is ahead of me in this one, and I'm told now if we lose, they are banishing me to the Wendy Williams Judge Judy time slot later this month. Yes. So a very important people call. We're going to give you the keyword this hour. Somebody's going to win $100 this hour, and everybody will be entered in to win a Verlo mattress set complete with a bamboo steamer. No, bamboo sheets, apparently that is. So here now, the secret word this hour is relax. The word is relax. I'm not making this up. RELAX. Aaron Rodgers once told everybody to relax. 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 Text it in right now on the Civic Media app. You can open up the app and download it for free. The first 11 stations are the ones that our show is on. Pick any one of those and open it up in the lower right-hand corner. It'll say text. Open that up and then hit the word or type in the word relax, RELAX, and text it in to Civic Media right now. Carry $100.
Yay.
Who doesn't want to?
Let's go for it.
But Todd,
Where's my phone? Darn it.
You know the best part of this contest?
What's that?
It's statewide.
That's right. Again, the lawyers remind me, I have to tell you, it is a statewide contest. All right, Carrie, tell us a little bit about what you do here at UWM.
I support Chancellor Money. I support the Chancellor. I am prepping him to go out and tell UWM's story, whether that's to students, community partners, faculty, staff, and he is going like crazy morning, noon, and night, and I am just helping him prepare.
And I mean, what you did, I mean, you brought him over to our little show today, and you're helping. I mean, you're taking photos, you're getting media out there, much of the way that Kevin is doing it kind of campus wide in the marketing side. You're really focused on helping the chancellor get out there, do shows like ours, the media, and prepare him. And I really appreciate that.
Right. You've done that.
I have for a state senator until he told me to take a hike. By the way, Kevin, I'm no longer a Republican. I left the party in 2011. Kevin's brother, very, very involved in politics. Is your brother still involved in politics, Kev?
He is most definitely not. He shifted to another very stable career, attempting to own restaurants.
Oh, I failed in that as well, so we'll have to catch up on that.
You know, and then mix in those of us that tried to do the media/radio game. Like, hey, we have it all knocked out. That is why it is so important when you go to college to have a great major, get into research, try to get into fields that are gonna pay off, right? And not drift around time and time again in all of those things. Yes. No, I do. I do. It's funny in thinking about talking to you, though, thinking about your political background and all the time putting any partisan side of the aisle that you may have been on at the time. But thinking about, though, genuinely how some of those same people, right, they were formative for you, but even for me in that part of the state in college, working in the media, people like Dale Schultz and David Brandemuel and those type of folks, that it was so long ago that, they also, whether we all agreed on everything or not, were such an important part of the fabric of that part of the state in particular, and certainly in other parts of the state. I'm sure that's very true for those representatives from a time ago as well.
And our universities are one of those things that should and can bring us all together across all parties. It should be a bipartisan thing, for God's sake, right? Carrie's going to stick around. She's going to be my Kathy Lee Griffith for my co-host. Kevin O'Connor, I cannot tell you how great it is to hear your voice. It's the best part of my day. We got to do this again soon, Kev.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're in the market for a co-host, let me know. I can be on with you and get you kicked off the air in like a day or two.
Back after this on the Civic Media Radio Network. Oh, my God. That's fantastic. Oh, so, Kevin's finger. That was great.
Is he?
Thank you. You're welcome.
Then?
Yeah, I just pick up the phone, let him say thank you, and tell him Todd will give him a call. So, all right, thanks. All right, Tanner, you're up next.
Okay.
But you stay here. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So what are you going with? Do you want on that side, or do you? Well, it kind of depends. Like, do you want your any part of your face shown or not?
I guess I don't really care. I got the sunglasses on, which you might put the hood with that. But,
yeah.
And I can put the hood up.
All right. Why don't you come over here and that way you're kind of.
Yeah, I was looking at the.
Do you need me to put something over the screen for a bit?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see, Zommers. We'll see. So, like, if you sit there, what? Yeah, it is, but you're not. So, see, like.
I'll cover it up just until he's sat
All right.
down.
Yes, I want to put the headset on there, please.
And once he's got that set,
So, do you want like just the pause in the shot?
Mic check.
Yep.
There you go.
Like, he's a professional. He knows what he's doing here.
Yeah, I play games.
So, like, see down there. There's the pause. You could just be like. You want to be like that?
Yeah, we can just do that.
Are you cool with that?
That's good enough.
All right.
All right,
This is
30 seconds.
fantastic. All right.
Isn't that great?
This is fantastic. It may be the best live show on location we've ever done, Carrie, thanks to you.
Good.
Welcome back to the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, the fight song of the Panthers here on campus live from UWM. You can see him running up and down the sidelines at various sporting events. And joining me for this segment, my lovely and talented co-host, Carrie Lee Griffith. No, Carrie Pink. Where's the wine? Why don't we have wine, Carrie? No. Carrie is my dear friend, Carrie Pink, the Executive Communications Officer here at UWM, is going to join me for this segment. And Carrie, you lined up, and I'm not sure how you, because he does few interviews.
Very few interviews.
You don't see him very often.
You may have an exclusive, Todd.
Really?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm very excited about this. And here now is Tanner, an architectural student and self-described niche micro-celebrity, unquote. He is Pounce the Panther. Pounce, how are you?
I'm doing well. The song that you just played, the fight song, that kind of... Oops, sorry.
That is fine.
The fight song you played, that kind of brings flashbacks to having to run up and down the court a bunch, so... A little PTSD, but... Well.
So when was your last appearance during basketball season, or when was your last appearance as Pounce?
No, it was... I'd say probably 2 weeks ago when I did a...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a baseball game for UWM.
Oh, nice.
And then, yeah, there's like a few other appearances here and there too, but I think that was the last one I
Have you ever done an interview? Because those watching on the stream, we see your pause, but we can't show your face because this is all seriousness. This is a big deal, and it's part of the mystique that when you are a mascot for a Division I school, normally you don't reveal yourself.
No, and I think my case right now is that I'm about to graduate, so it's like,
right.
It's going to be revealed eventually, so why not do it right now and give a little bit of taste of what I do? And
it's super cool. Where did you grow up at?
So I went to high school at Winneconne, up by Oshkosh, if you know where that is.
My parents used to live in Winneconne.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, my dad was a wrestling coach for Winneconne High School for a couple of
Really?
years ago. Yeah, long before you were born. But anyway.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's fantastic. So you grew up in Winneconne, and then what made you want to come to UWM?
I don't know. I was just touring schools and, growing up in the country, Milwaukee was definitely not my first choice. I was, a little intimidated, but then drove here. I was, walking on the campus, and I'm like, this is pretty small. It's pretty nice, actually, compared to Madison, where it's you got to walk half an hour to get across the campus. Here it's 5 minutes. I don't know. For some reason, I just fell in love with it. I toured Green Bay, and, they got those tunnels and everything that they write about. Those are so dumb. I was like, you got to, because when I was touring, I'm like, okay, you got the tunnels, but, you got to still wear a jacket to get to the tunnel. Right. So,
Might as well be outside.
What's the point?
Right.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So, is there a competition to be Pounce the Panther? How did you find out about this once you're on campus?
Okay, so this is a story I get asked a lot. It's a really dumb story, so I'm just gonna preface it with that. I just moved into my house, and it was like 3 years ago, and so I was looking for an on-campus job, and I was like looking on Handshake, which is what UWM uses for that, and I was like looking at like union custodial work, like stuff like that, and then as I was writing the emails and stuff for that, I got an email from athletics. Hey, we're looking for a mascot and like a few other things. So I'm like, oh, I'm interested in mascot and graphic design. Like, what's the worst they're going to say? No. And lo and behold, 3 years later, here I am still.
That's really so. Is it technically part of? I know at Madison they're part of the quote unquote cheer team, or is it a completely independent thing?
Nope, this is a part of marketing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. So we don't get like.
So you answer to Kevin O'Connor?
I don't know who that is. So no.
Okay. If it is, he has no idea. All right. Very good.
Yep. I did not know who that.
That's fine. So as part of marketing, so do you do events in the community or just on campus?
Yeah, everywhere.
Go ahead.
So I know there was one we just did for a sponsor of ours out in Oconomowoc. That was kind of a hike, but it was out there. It was fun. You know, just got to hang around. I do a lot around Milwaukee. Trying to think of some of the ones that I did, but
you're out in the community.
Yeah.
So it's a super cool thing, and to be the mascot like that. Have you ever, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but have you ever used it to say get a date? Like you know who I am, like
Not a date necessarily, but it does have its perks. I'll tell you that much. Like
that is a fantastic answer. And again, not to be too personal, but at Madison, every person, I think mostly guys who play Bucky, they get a Bucky tattoo on their rear end.
Same with Goldie at Minnesota.
Do you guys have anything similar to that as Panthers?
No.
Do you want to start something like that?
I was thinking about starting something like that, but just never did. So.
And now you're graduating.
I know.
And
it's not too late.
It's never too late.
Exactly.
I totally.
We got like a month and a half left. I'll do it.
Absolutely. So your major is architecture. What do you want to do after you graduate?
I don't know. Hopefully somewhere in the field of that, with like construction or architecture, something like that. Hopefully make a difference in that regard with like construction and all that stuff. So.
That's really cool. What would you say to people that might be listening out there? They're like, "Hey, I'd like to be the next Pounce the Panther." What would you say?
Well, you can't really be afraid. I mean, no one knows who you are. I mean, well, I guess besides me right now. But like, I mean, you're hiding behind a mask the entire time. Like, it's your job to annoy people, but not too much where it's really bad, but just enough that you can like go there and like you can pick like what I'll do is I'll pick Pounce's nose and like wipe it on someone. I always like that one. So.
And you get and kids probably they want to take their picture with you. I mean, they love Pounce, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's really good for that too, because it's like if me as Tanner just like walked up to like a group of kids, like that's weird. But like as the mascot, that's really cool to like go do that and like annoy them or something like that.
Yeah.
And like kids are like a huge part of the mascotting. Whether they're like interacting with you or just like annoying you or something like that. But so it's always a fun dynamic. You like mascotting, you really got to read people too, and like you really like you pick up that skill. Like, okay, this person's getting annoyed right now.
Right. There's like a minute left. I'm sorry, there's only a minute left. Did you ever go like to any sort of a camp or training, or you just pick this up because you're a natural ham?
No, I mean, I think it was just my experience and like learning from other mascots and all that. I'm not going to list who, but like I learned.
It's like a club, like a chat, like a snap group of this.
Kind of, sorta.
Really?
But
like all Wisconsin or other Division I schools?
So I know me and another one in our league. We kind of like talk every once in a while. He's from Ohio, I want to say.
Don't have to say. That's fine. Did you know this, Carrie?
I did not know about the underground network.
Yeah, it's like
mascots.
it's like an underworld. But
I love every part of this. We may have to have you back on the show another time before you graduate, if you don't mind.
That'd be fine.
All right. Tanner as Pounce the Panther. We'll come back with more. Thank you, Tanner. We appreciate it. Yeah. Come on back at UWM after this. Is the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was amazing. You're amazing, man. I'm serious.
WMDX.
When he gets his tattoo, you'll be in the parlor.
We could do that. We could pay for it. Joe could pay for it.
Do you know that last year, I think there was an inquiry in the Alumni Association. A couple was getting married and they wanted parents to come to the wedding. Did you?
It was
Maybe that was it.
Girl police say was abducted by the man who got her pregnant has been found. She's been missing for months.
I went to her wedding.
And as pounds.
Yeah, I went there as pounds and
Oh my God.
Yeah, they gave me like a huge tip for it.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, they handed me an envelope and I'm like, oh, what's this? And then I like get
Oh my gosh.
Here's my card. Let's shoot me an email, whatever. Keep in touch. We'll have you back on.
all right, thank you.
Because this kind of stuff. So we do serious stuff, political stuff all the time. But like, I love
In the
this
wake
kind
of
stuff
mass
in our
layoffs in
audience.
the federal
'Cause,
government,
like,
Governor Tony
political crap all
Evers
the time.
wants some
People
of
are
those
just like,
workers to
I'm
come
out
here and
So,
work
but
with the
this,
state of
and
Wisconsin.
I love
The
talking
state
about
is launching a
things
new
that aren't-
effort to recruit
This
staff
is kind of
out
one of
of
the
their
other
public
persons that
Yeah,
service
we
I know.
and
Am I done?
working for
Should I go?
government, but
We'll have you
coming
back
to
at
state
10 till, but
instead.
we'll have these people.
The
Oh,
state's
okay.
Department of Workforce
I don't
Development
mean I'll
will be
go
hosting
go. I
8
just mean should I
virtual job
take this on? Okay.
They're
I'm
looking
serious.
for
Thank you very much.
employees
I
in
really,
key
really
fields
appreciate
like
it. That was
healthcare,
really
engineering,
Here's my
and
real
law
hand.
enforcement. Evers says this is a great opportunity for
That was
Wisconsin
amazing.
to
Yeah, thank you so much.
improve
Yeah.
our government and communities.
Our pleasure.
Meanwhile,
All right,
federal
next group,
workers
come on
can
over,
get
folks.
somewhere new.
Doesn't matter. You guys can. We got 3 chairs, so 1 person here, and then 2 people there, please.
Oh, you need one person to come over to the side.
Yeah, sorry. And this chair's got to get kind of close. I apologize just to get in the shot.
Dates for these virtual job fairs are on the DW.
Alina. All right. Alina, it's pronounced. Okay, all right. I'm gonna write it like I'm gonna say it, so don't be offended. I'm sorry. All right, Alina. Abby. All right, awesome. Lucas, nice to meet you. Awesome.
These 3 did the legal.
And what was the show again, please? Oh yeah, that's right. And and you're all part of the theater program here, or so the major is theater. Musical. There's a major of musical theater here. Why didn't I come here, Carrie? I wasted my time at Platteville on broadcasting. All right, that's awesome. Okay, great. We'll just start off. I'll have each of you kind of tell a little bit about yourself. Then, thanks, Tanner. See you later. Yep. And then we'll talk a little bit about why you chose Milwaukee. We'll talk a little bit about the show. And just go, it'll go faster than you think. Have you guys ever done radio or anything before? All right. While you put the headsets on, please. We'll make sure that I'm not blowing you out in the headsets in terms of volume. All right. So, Alina, how is your volume?
Pretty good, yeah.
All right. Can you tell us, just for a mic check, your name and where you're from?
Yeah, my name's Alina Williams. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
All right. Very good. Abby, please. Say your name, where you're from.
I'm Abby McBee from Belvedere, Illinois.
Very good. And Lucas, same thing, please.
My name is Lucas Drube, and I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Really? This is fantastic. It has gone international, ladies and gentlemen. We're still streaming live, but we're not on the air. We're not on the radio side yet. So, but we are live streaming. So, don't say anything you don't want your mother to hear. or you can. I don't care. All right, Zommers, how are the mic checks? They sound okay?
Can you turn up Abby and Alina a touch?
Yep, absolutely.
And then, what was the other gentleman's name?
Lucas. Oh, the guy before the mascot.
No, I mean Lucas.
Lucas, yeah, and you spell it with a C or a K?
C.
A C. All right.
And what's his last name?
Drube, D-R-U-B-E.
Okay, cool. All right, we have about 30 seconds. And
All right.
We'll be back on.
All right, thank you. Mm-hmm. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. Yes, we're putting on a show for the last half hour literally for you all. Welcome back to the Lubar Entrepreneurship Center on the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. It is a great day to be a Panther. We appreciate all the hospitality that has been shown here at Milwaukee. Zombers, how about this show so far? I mean, it's just one star after another. I'm just here directing traffic. How about that?
I don't know if I agree with you just directing traffic, but certainly one star after another.
Right, one star after another, and more stars here at the desk here at UWM right now. They are all members of the musical theater program. Yes, they have a musical theater degree at UWM, which begs the question, why did Todd waste 7 years of his life at UW-Platteville? Maybe not quite 7, but close to it, as Kevin O'Connor can attest to. No, they are members of the musical theater department. And guys, I'm going to introduce you separately, but I want you to know the entire reason for this show, our radio show, our streaming show here today, is because of you guys. All right, I'm going to explain in a minute, but before I do, I would be remiss if the people back home, I have to do this for the show, people back home. We are right smack dab in the middle of our Text to Win Break into Spring Text to Win contest. So if you want in on the $100, we're giving away $100 of Benjamin Franklin to somebody just who enters in this hour. And then everybody who enters is eligible for the grand prize of a Verlo mattress set. And here's the deal. Only one more day left after today. Jane Matnair is ahead of me. And if I lose to her, they're banishing me to the Wendy Williams Judge Judy time slot. I kid you not. So text in. The word this hour is relax. RELAX. As Aaron Rodgers once said, relax. RELAX. Text it right now, the word relax, to the Civic Media app, and you'll be eligible. All right, guys, you'll hear this pinging in our headsets. Unfortunately, that's when all the texting. But let's get underway right now. I'm going to have each of our wonderful guests this segment introduce themselves. Alina, let's start with you. Where are you from, please, and how did you come to UWM?
Yeah, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so pretty much it's either Marquette or Milwaukee or Madison whenever you're looking at colleges. I originally actually went to Columbia College Chicago, didn't like the program, came back home, and I resonated so much with here, and I have family here, younger siblings, so it's much nicer to be closer to home.
That's fantastic. And also we have at the desk, Abby. Abby, please introduce yourself, where you're from, and how did you come to UWM?
Yeah, I am from Belvedere, Illinois. I kind of applied for a lot of colleges. When you apply for musical theater, it's kind of, you apply for the program and then the school as well. So kind of all over the country. And I really liked the city aspect of Milwaukee. It was one of my biggest choices. It's only about an hour, 30, 45 minutes from home. So it's close enough, but also like far enough to be kind of on my own as well.
And our final guest here this hour, or this segment, Lucas, please introduce yourself, where you're from, and how did you come to UWM?
Yeah, my name is Lucas Drube, and I'm from Toronto, Canada, so I am an international student. But as soon as I came to Milwaukee, I was pretty much blown away by all the amazing people, and also the program was very just inspiring. I just thought that all the faculty and the current students that were already there were really amazing and nurturing, or just like showing the ways of what it's like to be a musical theater major. And like Abby, I also applied to many schools, but I feel like this one was the best fit for me. And also, lots of cheese in this state.
They don't have cheese in Canada?
Well, they do, but I do love cheese.
It's better?
Yeah, it is a lot
All right,
better
well,
here.
First of all, stop the show a minute. On behalf of the United States of America, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell is going on? What have Canadians ever done to us except be nice?
I know, we're so nice.
Right?
It's not fair.
And the talent clearly coming across the border, why wouldn't we want more of that?
I don't know.
And think of the great Canadians. William Shatner, Captain Kirk is Canadian. Michael Bublé is Canadian. And Lucas is Canadian. I mean, in all seriousness, I'm going to start with you for a second. I want to be serious just for a second.
Yeah, of course.
What is it like being a Canadian right now in the United States?
Well, it's definitely interesting. I get a lot of questions is the biggest thing. I mean, I feel like my dad's side of the family's from America, so I've been to the United States quite a bit. So I feel like I didn't have such a problem kind of meandering in. and being the odd one out, even though Canada's just over there, and we're basically the same.
Right.
But
does it tick you off some of the stuff going on right now?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Sometimes I don't even know what to think about it. Sometimes it's just mind blowing and mind boggling how this is even happening,
right?
Or why, or it's just insane.
Crazy. And it's an American, again, I feel the exact same. I'm just like, why? So I don't want to go down too far a political thing, but as long as you're here, I just think it's bizarre. And again, to all Canadians, I'm sorry we're going through this right now. But as they say, that's not why you called. And so my friend Carrie, who works here at UWM, she went to this new show that you guys put on, Dames at Sea, which Zommer's pulled up some of the music there from the show. And she called me and she said, Todd, I just went to this show and these guys are singing and dancing and it's like a legit production. Abby, you did a lot of the choreography, I understand, in the show. How long have you been in dance? How did and what led you to help with the choreography?
Yeah, so I did theater a lot growing up, and one aspect I really liked about musical theater is the dance side. I would definitely say I lean more into the dance than other things a lot, but Miss Sherry asked if we were interested. They had we were able to get a surf grant from the university to do research on the show as well as be part of it, which was super fun, especially being a senior. It was kind of our first time doing that. I know they did it last year for another graduating senior, so it was a really cool opportunity. When it comes to choreography, I got to do it along with Sophia Roth, who played Ruby in the show. She was one of the other main characters, and we got to work collaboratively, and it was also a lot of fun to work with the rest of the students, kind of our peers as well, and get input from them, what felt good. And we also got to do, this show was really unique because a lot of tap shows aren't either done or just are not being made a lot anymore. So this show specifically, we had 3 to 4 tap numbers in it, and a lot of them were large group numbers. So just coming up with the choreography and different steps that we can do where it's still impressive enough, but not too complicated for people to keep up with and do, but still look really well.
Yeah, I think it's remarkable. And Alina, have you done a lot of dance in your life as well, or more vocal, more acting?
I would say more dance. I got into theater a little bit later just because I went to a lot of inner city schools and the funding when it comes to the arts isn't really there normally, or at least when I was in elementary school. So I started when I got to middle school. It was more so, I think 7th grade is when I got into musicals. But I was always into tap. I loved tap. I did tap, I believe, 2 years, and then it just got expensive after a while going to class after class.
Right.
So I held it dear to my heart every once in a while whenever we'd have a tap show. In high school, we had one where we had one tap numbers, green eggs and ham and Seussical.
Nice.
So I got to do that. Then I took a tap class in college, a small brief one in college. And that was fun. But then when I saw that Dames at Sea was a tap musical, I knew that I had to do it because I really, really do love tap so much.
That's super cool. Lucas, have you done dance as well before this show, or more acting and singing?
Yeah, I've done dance for quite a while, since I was about 5 years old, but I feel like I've been singing for most of my life. I used to be a part of a children's opera company in Canada.
Wow, cool.
So I did mostly opera and that type of theater, but I didn't get into musical theater until about high school. I went to Performing Arts High School, which was very fortunate. So we got many opportunities to perform and dance. But I feel like I really started to feel confident and good dancing in the last 2 years. I recently just became a dance minor here as well, and I just love any opportunity I could get to dance and even tap. I really haven't been able to tap that much until Dames at Sea, and so I've been very fortunate to be able to experience that in a show especially, and it's just so much fun. It ignites my passion all the time.
I really wanted to go into dance when I was about in middle school, I guess, and for reasons I just don't want to bore people, there was an opening in the class. So my sister was 4 years younger. She started a younger class, but I didn't. But I ended up being the master of ceremonies and the sound technician for the Betty Hayes School of Dance for 16 years, and watched all these students and the time that they put into it, and talk just a moment. People that don't know, dance is enormously demanding physically. This isn't just out there. I mean, it is a sport in my. You have to be tremendously athletic, and the amount of time that goes into this.
Yeah, when it comes to the choreography for specifically for the show, we spent upwards of 150 hours like working on the show over a span of like 4 weeks when we were. That's between choreographing things and then teaching it to students as well. So dance, it does a lot like on the body. I had blisters on my feet. We're breaking in new tap heels and stuff. Everybody had new shoes for the show. So on top of that, plus like singing and you're doing everything at the same time. So just taking care of yourself also is a huge part when it comes to dancing. And I feel like this show especially was one of those times where I was able to work on like self-care when it comes to dancing and stuff like that. And some other shows, you're doing dance numbers, you're doing a little bit here and there, but because this one is so physically demanding, it was a good practice, especially as someone who's like leaving college within the next month. It was really good to like get back in that regimen and like work on it.
Anybody else on that subject or?
Yeah, I'd say I don't think people also understand just how often we have to rehearse these numbers, especially the harder ones. We went upwards of like 5 times that we had to rehearse it because a step might have been a little bit harder or we might have been behind in the music, so you have to go over it again. And you can't always mark it either, especially with tap, because everyone has to be on the same beat. Otherwise, you're going to hear it and you're going to see it because legs are going to be off, arms. So it's just stuff you have to really have down.
Talk a little bit about. I grew up in a small town in southwest Wisconsin of 5,000 people and had dreams of dancing and singing on Broadway. I did community theater, which I loved. But you are all in a major of theater. Talk about what UWM is giving you and what you want to do with it. Let's start with Lucas.
I feel like they spread out the training pretty well. We get a lot of acting classes, which is incredible. We have amazing professors. They teach us so many amazing things. There's so many dance classes you can take. There's a huge variety. Especially if you choose to even become a dance minor, you can take even more. You can be a part of the dance shows and productions as well. And singing wise, you get hourly and half-hour voice lessons with a specific voice teacher after a certain time, as well as a group voice class where you get to perform twice in a year in your freshman year. So I feel like there's so many opportunities to keep learning and growing your skills and practice. There's so many practice rooms you can go into to play piano, mess around, sing to your heart's content.
So what do you want to do after you graduate? What's your hope professionally?
Well, I'd love to perform as much as I can, keep going. Broadway is always the dream. Just getting to share my love and my heart to so many people in the audiences and just performing and singing, that's my dream. I just want to be so happy. It makes me happy all the time.
Abby, what do you want to do next after you graduate?
Yeah, so I actually just got a job. I'll be working in Florida for Disney World Entertainment.
Congrats.
Thank
My
you.
sister and brother-in-law worked for Disney for a summer in their teachers. But anyway, they loved it.
But yeah,
But you're going to be performing.
Yes, I will be performing there
They were
starting
at Buzz
this summer.
Lightyear, so that's a whole other thing. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm super excited. I feel like my training here has also helped a lot with that, building up stamina, learning how to audition and stuff. I was homeschooled growing up, so my only outlet for theater was youth theater, community theater, things like that. So coming to a new school setting and then also where all of my classes are geared towards what I really want to do helped kind of solidify my passion and my decision for what I wanted to do in college and post-grad. But I really love UWM because of not only kind of what Lucas said about the teachers and everything, but a lot of the teachers who are professors here are also working professionals either in the area close by or, work all over the state. So
Can you guys hang around through the break? Just want to get Alina what you're going to do next and wrap things up. We'll have Carrie back on this show, and she and I will drink wine the last 2 minutes of the show, do shots together, and then we'll wrap things up here. No, I'm just kidding for the Board of Regents listening and back in Madison. This is Todd Allbaugh Show on location at UWM on the Civic Media Radio Network. Nobody's doing shots until 2 o'clock.
But as soon as it's 2 o'clock.
Yes, as soon as it's 2 o'clock.
They're already lined up in the back.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are fantastic. I appreciate you all. Yeah.
It's so cool.
Well, I'm excited because, I don't have many regrets in life, but one of them is that I didn't have the courage that all of you are doing and following a true passion and making a career out of it. So don't give up those dreams because what you guys do is very, very important. It's amazing. Yeah. And Carrie was immensely impressed with you, and she has a pretty high standard. She not only sings, she plays piano, harp, accordion, banjo.
Yeah. Aw, thank you.
Thank you.
And she told me that on the phone when we set this up. That's real. Yeah. She's not just telling you guys this because you're here. She's like, Todd, I really wanted to stand up. I clearly need a drink. More than coffee.
30 seconds.
Thank you. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show, live on location at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee on the Civic Media Radio Network. It is 9 before the hour of 2 o'clock. At the top of the hour, news from CBS or ABC News, depending upon which of the great stations you're listening to across the Civic Media Radio Network across Wisconsin. A sports update from our great sports reporter, Mike Clemens. Weather update as well. And then the Maggie Dawn Show every afternoon from 2 until 4. Maggie Dawn follows us directly afterwards. Also, don't forget to text the word this hour to our Text to Win contest. Somebody's going to win $100. We have rigged the hour so that each of our guests will get $100. No, I'm just kidding. The lawyers tell me I have to remind you it is a statewide contest, and the word to text this hour is relax. 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 And one more day left. If Jane Matnair beats me, our great friend and colleague, and it looks like she may, we're being banished to the Wendy Williams Judge Judy time slot in the afternoon. Come find us there. Anyway, looking forward to wrapping things up. We're live on location. Some great students from UWM, and really what makes Wisconsin great are our students at our great universities across Wisconsin. They are all members of the musical theater program here at UWM. We have Abby with us, Lucas with us, and Alina. I want to go back to you because the other two before the break told us what they hope to do after graduating as a musical theater student. What are your hopes to do professionally after you get this degree?
Yeah, in the short term, I'd love to work with some more theaters in the community, like First Stage. I get to work with them at one point, I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. And then we've got Skylight is in the area, Forte. I've heard tons about Forte. I know some people worked with Forte before. But a little bit more down the road, I'd love to work on a national tour. I love traveling, and the idea of being able to go perform a show for a couple weeks, a month or so, and then pack up and move on to the next location, and then getting to look around during the day and then go and perform at night is so exciting for me. I love that.
Well, I'm just enormously impressed with all of you, and I wish you all the best. And what I love about the show we put together, that Carrie put together today for us, well-rounded, because what we think in terms of universities and academics and the chemistry building and nursing, that's all very, very important, right? But I hope that our listeners and viewers doesn't get lost, and you all have helped us remind us what you all are doing in the arts, in musical theater, is equally as important. Because in these divided times, I think what you all provide us, live theater, an experience where we get off of these things and we experience something together that is hopeful, that is inclusive, that makes us feel like we're a true community, regardless of where we come from or who we are. And what you all do to enhance the human spirit is equally as important. So thank you to all of you. It's really enormously important. Any final thoughts? Want to go around the table, give you each 30 seconds. Lucas, any final thoughts?
I just appreciate being here and getting to share my love and passion for theater. I never want to stop. I keep performing. I'm actually opening another show this Saturday with Forte Theater Company, which
Wow,
Lena
that's
just
amazing.
mentioned. It's called
All
The
right.
Secret Garden. Yeah, I love performing and sharing my love with it.
Go see that. Abby?
Yeah, kind of almost word for word what Lucas said. I just really am thankful for the opportunities I've had here, not only working at school, but also being prepared for professional work within the community as well. And I've had a lot of opportunities to choreograph in the community. I'm actually choreographing a show right now, so
Great.
super excited for that. We'll be doing Rent at Outskirts Theater
Wow.
this summer.
Amazing.
So, yeah, just a lot of things to look forward to.
Alina, any final thoughts quickly?
Yeah, I'm so excited to have had this opportunity. This is something I've never done before, so I'm really glad that you guys reached out to us. And yeah, just working on auditioning and then other opportunities in the summer. So
Well, congratulations to all you. Thank you all. You're amazing. You're great performers, great people. You're part of what makes Wisconsin great. So congratulations and thank you. Really appreciate it. I'll have you guys. Our pleasure. Our pleasure. I'm going to mute you guys' headsets. You can take them off now. And then Carrie's going to slip back in here quick for the final couple of minutes. I want to go down the list while she's doing that and thank Chancellor Money, Mark Money, first and foremost for allowing us to be here and his great hospitality. Also the Dean of College of Health Professions and Sciences, Kim Litwack. Also the nursing student we had on first hour, Veronica Burns, my former broadcast partner, Kevin O'Connor, who works on marketing here. And of course, the three folks that you just talked to. Also Pounce the Panther for being here. And my dear friend, Carrie Pink. Thanks for being here, Carrie.
Thanks, Todd.
You're amazing. And a big shout out to the folks down the coffee shop here in Sommer called Grind. And I got very excited for a moment because I thought the name of the shop was Grinder, which is a whole different kind of coffee shop.
Not exactly the same.
Not exactly the same. Carrie, thank you for doing this.
Todd, it was a pleasure. So fun to have you here. Thank you for bringing your talent to Milwaukee and coming to be on site with us.
Well, it's amazing. We got about a minute left. Any final thoughts that you want people of Wisconsin to know about UWM?
UWM is a secret that needs to be told. It's fantastic. There's so many different inroads into majors here, and we really make an impact on not only southeastern Wisconsin, but the entire state.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm just enormously impressed as you gave me a tour yesterday, the quality of facilities, the quality of people, and the difference in the impact that this university, UWM, is making in particular on Milwaukee and Southeast Wisconsin, but the ripple effects across the state and across the country and even the world.
Yeah, yeah,
It's remarkable, isn't it?
yeah.
And as two kids that grew up in Southwest Wisconsin and Richland Center, who would have ever thought that years later we'd be doing a show where you're working and making a difference in Milwaukee?
Exactly, where I came as a freshman way back
Yeah.
in an unnamed year.
About 5 years ago or so. Many thanks to all the people that we listed. Thanks to Zommers back home. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Great show. Kelly Call and Sean Hanisch, the producer and director of Just a Bit Outside, the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers, will be here as part of the Wisconsin Film Festival tomorrow at our studios in Madison. Join us then. Until tomorrow, from Milwaukee, this is Todd Allbaugh saying, whatever you believe in, whatever you're fighting for, keep banging your drum. We'll see you tomorrow back in Madison. All right, everybody on the stream, thank you for tuning in today. We appreciate it. Great show. We'll see you tomorrow in Madison. Bye-bye.
Adios.